Well, a very warm welcome to Coscilia UK's stories from both sides. And I'm sure you're going to find them inspiring and resilient once you hear our speakers share. So, welcome. I am Carol Edmondson. I volunteer with Coscilia UK, which is a not-for-profit community organisation to empower and uplift women, but also very much inviting our male counterparts to contribute. Ritu Sharma, Women Empowerment Ambassador, and I may add so much more, is the founder of Coscilia UK, as I mentioned. The main aim of the organisation is to empower, connect communities, raise awareness of issues that affect women, support women on a journey to create a life of fulfillment through their personal, professional, and financial growth. Projects include support for victims of domestic abuse, empowering communities, personal and professional development, health and well-being, including our fortnightly in-person dance wellness sessions, our DV craft fundraising sessions to raise money for domestic violence and domestic abuse victims, and also our Let's Talk Happiness events, again, which is in person. And we bring a group of women together who would normally be on their own, and we have an amazing time. So that's a little bit about Coscilia UK, a little bit about me. I'm retired, so I just enjoy life, doing what I do, supporting Coscilia UK where I can. And before we start, can I ask everyone to please mute their mics? There will be an opportunity to ask questions once all four speakers have shared. I will then open up the floor for Q&A. So you have an opportunity to interact with the speakers and each other. Please save your questions till the end. If you are putting them in the chat, I will do my best to monitor. But by all means, raise your hand when the opportunity arises to ask your questions and unmute your mics. So, kicking us off this evening, or morning, or afternoon, depending on where you're joining us from, I'd love to introduce you to our first speaker, who is Tanya Saig Bartoloni, and I hope I haven't butchered your name, the middle one. So a little bit about Tanya. A Florida bar member since 2004, graduated cum laude, from the University of Miami School of Law and magna cum laude from Florida Atlantic University. She earned a master's in international business law from Università Telematica. Oh boy, Tanya, really? International Unity Unu in 2016. I apologize. I should have practiced those before. Her international experience enhances her negotiation and dispute resolution skills. A seasoned litigator specializing in business, contracts, and commercial litigation, she has successfully conducted thousands of trials. Founder of Business and Beyond LLC, Tanya offers consulting, coaching, and fractional director services to help business owners establish balance, security, and freedom through effective systems. Tanya, I yield the floor to you. Take it away.
Thank you. I'm actually a recovering attorney turned business coach and consultant. And it was Uni Natuno in conjunction with the London School of Business and Finance. And so I love London. I lived there for about 2 years while I was doing that master's degree. And thank you so much for having me today. I'm going to speak about sharing my screen, and if we can actually, if I can get the technical aspect correct. Let me see. Are you seeing just the one screen that says business success through balance? Yes, perfect. Okay. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about business success through balance and what that really means, because most people aren't quite understanding what that balance is and how to achieve it. I'm going to show you some facts first. And look, 90% of startups fail. 70% of them fail between years 2 and 5, right? Now, 80% fail because of cash flow problems. If you look, 70% of people fail to achieve their goals. I'm not going to sit here and read every single, PowerPoint to you. You can read that, but there are some things that I will highlight. And so why am I telling you all of this? It's not to scare you, but it's just to show some of the sources of stress and what it takes to have a successful business. So I've had a few businesses throughout the years. The last one I sold was a law firm. And being an attorney and having my own law firm, I was under so much stress. I was depressed, I was suicidal, but at least I got a TEDx talk out of it. But seriously though, it's the stress and depression for business owners is very real, and it will lead to burnout and failure. And as many people know, especially in the US, the legal industry is male dominated. So masculine energies run the show. And when it comes to that, I mean, just watch any TV show, any movie, we celebrate lawyers who are aggressive and underhanded, who will do anything to win. I mean, look at Suits and what's his name, Harvey Specter, right? Or Saul Goodman. We celebrate them, even though they're working late nights, they're having zero balance. They are tough and aggressive and underhanded. So all of this together is the reason why, although lawyers make up less than 0.5% of the US population, they make up 1/3 of all suicides. And digging into that really opened my eyes to balance and what that really means. Because every industry has stress. Every business owner is stressed because of the workload. And those industries that are more male dominated have that added stress, both on the males and the females in those industries. Now, the good news is there is good news, once we become authentic and we know who we are, as I stated in my TEDx talk, once I embraced my true self, I was no longer overwhelmed and depressed and suicidal. And that was the first step that I took that created the balance. Because embracing my masculine as well as my feminine sides equally, being fully me, really helped me recognize the power that I have as a human being, the power that we all have, right? Humans are one of only 3 species on Earth that do not have the death programmed into our DNA. Right. And so we have the ability to modify, literally modify and change our DNA and our genes. And so we can literally modify what happens around us. And if you, followed any of these new scientific breakthroughs with doctors like Dr. Joe Dispenza and medical facilities like the Mayo Clinic, they are proving every day that we have so much power to manifest and change our inside as well as our outside through our minds. And so finding our balance, I believe, is so much easier than we think, and it's so much more imperative than we give it credit. Because when you are balanced within, you can balance without. So this is the wheel that I like to use for my balance. And this is how I started my balancing journey. I continuously balance. It is not something that is a one and done. So there's no judgment here. I find that a lot of times I have to tweak things. I have to redo things. I have to let myself or remind myself that no, I need to balance. And that's okay because it's a lifelong experience. And so the first thing that I always, advise people to start on is their organization and calendaring, right? We don't think of organization as part of balance, but it really does help because once you start organizing and calendaring, you start compartmentalizing your life. Instead of having a to-do list and all of these things that are overwhelming you about, oh my gosh, when am I going to do this? When am I going to find time for that? When am I going to do this? I have so much to do. Once you start putting them on your calendar and giving them a specific time, your brain starts going, oh, wow, I don't have to worry about that. It has its own time. It has its place in my life. I know that if I follow my calendar, I'm going to get everything done. So I don't have to worry about when to fit anything into where. That's the first step. It's a hard step, but it really does work once you start getting into it. Once you start getting into it, you develop a routine of using your calendar. Now, routines are great because you don't have to think about them, right? You wake up in the morning, you go get your coffee or your tea, you brush your teeth, you take a shower. All of those things that you do on a regular basis are on automatic pilot because you do them so often. And so you don't use a lot of your brain energy or any, a lot of your energy at all to get those things done. And that's the power of a routine. My routine is that I wake up in the morning and I meditate right away. I don't think about it. It just is. That is part of what I do. And that brings me the first part of my balance in the morning. When I meditate, it helps to ground me. It helps to bring me into the day. It helps to bring my nervous system and keep it calm and ease into all of the stressors and, everything that's happening around us every day. After that meditation, which is usually anywhere between, 10 to 20 minutes, it doesn't have to be anything lengthy. I do my affirmations and my gratitude. And those really help bring me back to earth. Okay. Why? Because I start thinking about all of the good things that are in my life instead of all of the things that go wrong. Because any day you pick, any minute, any hour, you can always find something wrong and you can always find something good. And as Dr. Joe Dispenza says, where your focus goes, your energy flows. And I'm sure you've all heard, if you focus on what you don't want, you get more of it, right? If you focus on what you do want, you get more of it. So once you start getting yourself into that routine of finding gratitude, finding the things that you're grateful for, that you like in your life, that you want more of in your life, and really focusing on them, you will start attracting more of them. And it's not just an attraction of, oh, I'm going to think I'm going to have more money, and then all of a sudden I have more money. That's not how it works, right? It's getting yourself into that state of, these are the things that I'm focusing on. And so you start doing things that bring you more of the things that you focus on subconsciously, right? So it's not just I'm going to think of it and it happens. It's, I'm going to think of it, which will help me do the things that I need to do to make it happen. Movement. Movement is a great way to get your body balanced and your mind balanced. Dancing working out, running, any kind of movement. A lot of times I will have a dance party with my kids just because we put on some music and we start moving, and it gets that flow of energy going. It doesn't have to be, anything major where you're working out for an hour and sweating. No, any kind of movement that's going to help the flow of your body, help.
We seem to have temporarily lost Tanya. So while we wait for Tanya, from her flow, her chart, she's not back yet.
No.
Okay. So I know for me, haven't got my video on. I know for me, from what was being shared, I have started working out every morning, and it's making such a difference. I go to salsa classes on a Saturday, which I love. And Richard promises to come and join me one Saturday afternoon for my 2-hour salsa. Yes, meditating, Bible study, prayer, first thing. What else do I do? I'm always laughing, smiling, which is good medicine. So yes.
It seems like she dropped out altogether.
Okay.
Carol, I'm the same like you. I'm always like that, joyful, smiling. So yesterday I actually had my wisdom tooth removed, but I didn't care. I mean, I enjoyed it. It was an experience, but I find it like, I don't know, I just something about it. I just love being happy.
Yeah, it's an inside out job.
Exactly.
Yeah. Welcome, Christina. So good to have you here. Christina's one of our ambassadors as well. Christina Luke has her own career. Hi, Platine. Now I can see what you look like. Welcome. Oh, wonderful. Oh, here she comes again. So let's hope this time. You may continue, Tanya.
I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened there.
You're fine.
Okay, I'll go a little bit faster to save some of that time. But what I was saying is sleep is when your body integrates everything that has happened to you that day. While you're sleeping, your subconscious is still working. So not only is sleep good for your body to heal itself on a cellular level, but it's also good for your brain to integrate and really understand all of the things that have happened. I don't know how many of you have woken up and been like, I know the solution to this problem all of a sudden. Well, how did that happen? It's because your brain integrated all of that knowledge and figured out the solution from everything else that you know, right? While you were sleeping. So getting a good night's sleep is really helpful to everything. And some of the things that you can do is meditate before you go to sleep, turn off electronics a couple of hours before you go to sleep, use some essential oils like lavender or frankincense, right? Those things will get your nervous system to calm down a little bit so that you can get good sleep. Reading, that is one of my favorites. I don't care what you read. Any kind of reading is going to bring you balance. Why? Whether you're reading a business book to learn or reading a fantasy story to just escape, you are blocking everything else out, right? You are focusing on whatever it is that you're reading, which allows your brain to calm down. It allows your body to calm down, and it allows you to just escape all of the things that are bombarding you all the time. If you're reading something that is learning, well, now you're gaining that knowledge on top of it. If you're reading a fantasy, well, now you're kind of escaping and meditating, right? So both of them are very beneficial, right? Going outside, doing something that you enjoy every day. Why do we do all these things? Why do you have to go outside and ground yourself? Why should you do something that you enjoy every day? Well, going outside and grounding has its own positive enforcement. If you've ever traveled from a place to another place and gotten jet lagged, go outside barefoot and stand on the ground, on the grass. You will see that your jet lag is going to go away in much more quickly than if you don't do that, because your body starts aligning with the earth. The rhythm of the earth will align with your body. And going outside on a regular basis allows you to align with your environment, with the earth, with the universe. And so it automatically brings you calmness and more balance. And it stops you from having all that overwhelm and all the things that are coming at us all the time. Doing something that you enjoy every day does the same thing. It makes you a little bit happier. And a lot of us think that, oh no, I can't be selfish. I have to do all these other things for everybody else. I don't have time to go do something for me. Well, guess what? You're doing yourself a disservice, but you're also doing all of your friends, family, and clients a disservice by doing that. Why? Because they deserve 100% of you. They deserve to have the best version of you that you can give them. And if you're not taking care of yourself and you're not doing something that is fun and enjoyable and for you so that you can fill your cup back up, you're giving them a damaged version of you. Do you really want to do that? No. So being unselfish is taking care of yourself, not the other way around. And so just a couple of things that I also wanted to suggest are, this is a list of some of my favorite books that I have read. There are a ton more, but to start, You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay is absolutely amazing. The Power of TED by David Emerald is also life-changing because it helps you change your perspective. Becoming Supernatural, this is my must-read list to help with balance. And as you can see, some of it is related to business, some of it's mindset, some of it is just health. And then for meditation, here are some things. Insight Timer is a free phone app that you can get to do to find meditations that can help you. They have all kinds of different ones. You can look them up on YouTube, Google, or you can sit in silence and breathe in and out. This is what I use all the time because you can use it for 30 seconds or you can use it for an hour and it'll still bring your nervous system down to being calm, and it'll get you back to being focused. So I wanted to try to do this very quickly with everybody. If you would all just kind of indulge me, you're welcome to close your eyes or just gaze down on a spot. I will do it very quickly. And what you do is you just sit, you breathe in for 4 counts and out for 4 counts. And as you continue to breathe in for 4 counts and out for 4 counts, I want you to imagine a cord that is running from your brain to your heart. And it's just connecting your brain and your heart. And continue breathing in 4 counts and out 4 counts. And every time you breathe in, imagine that cord just getting a little bit brighter. Imagine that connection between your brain and your heart getting just a little bit brighter with every breath. And then when you feel calm and relaxed, you can open your eyes and be done. And that's it. It is that simple to meditate and bring your nervous system back down to being calm. I have some affirmations that, when to do them, how to do them. If you just use one of these a day, you are going to see a major shift in your happiness and in your overwhelm and in your stress levels. And let me just tell you, cortisol in your body reduces your ability to make decisions by 50%. 50%. And we all have so much stress all the time and so much cortisol. So doing some of these things on a consistent basis will really help you amplify your decision making, right? I found some affirmations from HuffPost.com that I really liked. I possess the qualities needed to be extremely successful. I forgive those who have harmed me in my path and peacefully detach from them, right? Just because you forgive someone does not mean you need to allow them to continue that behavior or you need to keep them in your, life. There are some other ones, and then my favorites are strive for excellence, not perfection. I create a meaningful life that brings me joy, and I respect my feelings and desires. That last one is really the epitome of balance. When you actually start listening to yourself and start respecting your feelings, not dismissing them, respecting your desires, not belittling them because of social norms or pressures, that's when you start embracing yourself. And that's when you can become successful beyond your wildest imagination. And if you would like to get a hold of me or connect with me, here is my information. And thank you so much. And I am so sorry about technical faux pas.
That's fine, Tanya. It's live. We work with whatever. So thank you. And what an amazing and wonderful way to open our evening. Practical, absolutely brilliant. A couple of the books that you listed, I have definitely Deepak Chopra. And there was another one, I can't remember what it was now. But wonderful, 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 wonderful. And I'm sure we'll have questions for you at the end. And do put your details in the chat. I know you showed a slide, but definitely put them in the chat, please. We can all benefit from that.
Thank you.
Wonderful. So now it gives me great pleasure to introduce you to our next guest, who is joining us from Tuscany, and it is Amira Makhlouf. Awesome. Amira Makhlouf, a Palestinian mentor and founder of Extraordinary Speakers, has spent over 3 decades empowering women globally. After leaving her homeland, she lived in London, the USA, and Cyprus, discovering the power of resilience and authenticity. With a degree in metaphysical sciences and training from top coaches, Amira turned her own suffering into strength. Despite facing homelessness and hardships, She realized her identity wasn't defined by language or circumstances, but by inner strength. Her journey underscores her belief that resilience shapes destiny. Ah, Amira, please.
Thank you so much, Carol, for having me here. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, John, for coming and supporting. I just have a question for you. Imagine standing on the streets of London with nothing but 2 suitcases, 2,000 pounds in the year 1995. And with the knowledge that you have no home to return to. Today, I want to share with you my story, the story of resilience and finding one's true self and overcoming adversity. I'm Palestinian by birth. I left my country 30 years ago. My journey has started from the streets of Palestine to the streets of London, to Cyprus, to the USA, to Italy, where I live now, and to founding extraordinary speakers, an organization that amplifies voices of women, because I have found my own voice. I was born in a world of conflict, a very complex world. Palestine, Israel, is a very complicated country, beautiful place with many histories of wars. I have witnessed many wars since I was young. Wars with Lebanon, Iraq, Syria, Palestine, different intifadas. My story with adversity and building resilience started right there. I decided to leave my country. I left with a heart full of hatred towards my country, towards racism, towards injustice for both societies. Consider I'm Palestinian. I also have 2 Jewish sisters. My father was married to a Jewish woman, so I have 2 stepsisters. So I lived in both worlds. I was not accepted by the Arab society. I was too open, but for the Jewish society, I was still Arab. So I left the country with the idea of no return. I lost my brother. He died, drowned in a well. Family problems. I left with only one plan: to succeed. I burned all bridges. In London, I found myself stealing food to survive, with no documents, being illegal, being abused by bosses who underpaid me, living almost on nothing, surviving on carrots, which was the least expensive item I could find in London. But I had nowhere to go back to. Something I learned, that adversity doesn't build a character, it reveals it. Many, many stories I had in London. Then I moved to Cyprus. I've always found a way to not go back to my country. In Cyprus, I lived for a year, I overstayed, I was imprisoned and deported to my country. And sooner, I found a way to go to the United States. I never wanted to stay in my country. I never accepted living there. I lived other people's lives, moved from different relationships to another abusive relationship. Until one day in the United States, I had a relationship with a man. I found myself surrounded by 10 FBI agents with bulletproof jackets pointed on me. My partner that I didn't know much about, he was the financial consultant, was arrested. I was left with nothing again. And in that moment, I lost my voice. I couldn't speak. It took me a while to get my voice back. Those days, I was going to a small church in Cincinnati, Ohio. I asked them if they had a place for me to stay. I lived in the church for 3 weeks, and I started my personal journey towards discovering myself. I wanted to study everything possible about suffering, about my own suffering. I started studying personal growth. I couldn't afford books. I didn't have money for books. Some moments I walked in the street looking for $0.25 to buy something to eat. We didn't have, I remember it was 99, I didn't have, there was no YouTube, no internet. You study books, you hear speakers, cassettes. So I borrowed books from the library. Sometimes I would go to the bookstore and read there, sit there on the floor. And this is how I started learning slowly, slowly. It took me years. It didn't happen one day. It took me a long time. Sooner, I moved to Italy. I found my way to another country. It was another important stepping stone. I got to a relationship. I got married. I got divorced. I got into another abusive relationship. I had a son, my wonderful son, Yanni, he's 14. Again, living other people's life. I started building a business, my coaching business. Then I found myself one day sleeping in my office, washing myself in the sink of my office. I was kicked out of the house, my ex-partner with my son. And I built extraordinary speakers. I found my voice. I finally found my voice. Probably to rescue that 20-year-old woman who I once was. I don't know. But definitely to inspire and give voice to many women and girls to find their own power. I improved my relationship with faith, with God. I couldn't explain many things in life. I had to turn within. Many moments were hard moments. And sometimes I surprised myself. I didn't know where I got my strength from. How could that be possible? I used to walk in the street with empty stomach. No one to go to. And not a family to ask. I was embarrassed in my culture. Being ashamed. Something I learned about faith. It is not a religion. It is about connecting to the divine qualities that are within us. I found my own qualities. I connected to my own power, to the God within me, outside of me. And now I create events in different parts of the world to inspire women and girls to believe in themselves. Despite the difficulties, we have a voice. You have a voice. One important lesson I realize, life is not about color, race, gender, not even about being a man or a woman. It is the legacy that one creates. I created my own legacy. I have a next event coming in March in Florence, Italy. It is about from the front door to the top floor, empowering the next generation of female leaders. And my story continues, and for many, many different events. And I am an example for many girls. And yeah, I'm proud to be myself. Thank you.
Oh, Amira. A big hug to you.
Thank
Wow.
you.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Alex, you've got to follow that.
Yeah, no pressure, right?
Amira, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for sharing your heart. And I know there's so much more in there.
Yes.
Ah,
Yes.
I can't wait for the Q&A at the end. So everyone, sit tight. Okay, now for our next speaker, joining us from Phoenix, Arizona. No, that's our final speaker, which is Omar, joining us from Phoenix, Arizona. But now we have Alex Dumas joining us from North Carolina. So a little bit about Alex. Who is Alex? Well, Alex is a sought-after international speaker, best-selling author, and coach. Since 2018, he has trained hundreds of corporate leaders and entrepreneurs to become win-win communicators. Alex is the go-to expert for leadership, communication, and team building. He has led a global movement that has generated over 6 figures for charitable causes. He has built global communities as vice president of the BIPOC. You may wish to enlighten us as to what that stands for, Alex, when you speak. The BIPOC Coach Collective. Alex is also the head coach for the Black Executive Men community and partner of Black Leaders Worldwide. I am looking forward to hearing you share. The floor is yours, Alex.
Oh, great. Great. Thank you, Carol. And yes, the organization we're referring to is the BIPOC Coach Collective. So it stands for Black, Indigenous, People of Color. And I'm really excited to be here with you all. It's such a powerful speaker so far, and thank you for being present with me. So let me let me find this window for y'all. Okay, can everybody see my window here? Yes, yes. Okay, beautiful. So my talk today is called The Win-Win Communicator, a new way for leaders to listen, because it's one of our biggest leadership traits and qualities, and important things we can do is listen. And this is just a nuanced way of listening. So let's play, let's enjoy ourselves. And as Carol mentioned many things about me, if I can get to the next place. She mentioned all these impressive things, right? Author, global movement leader, right? Speaker, trusted advisor. That's me and my beautiful family in the middle here. And it's me in Phoenix, Arizona. So who was the gentleman that was from Arizona? Omar. Yeah. So this is me. This is proof that I was in Arizona at some point in time. These two events, I'll tell you more about that and the story behind that and how it ties into leadership and growth. So these are great titles. These are fun things that I have to share. These are important things. These are true things about me. But I want you to let you know that these titles, they don't really mean anything, right? You could take them away. At the end of the day, I am who I am. What's inside my core, my state of being, state of how I operate is the most valuable thing here. So you can see all these things now, but believe me, this is not the case. This is not how it always was, right? So I'm gonna share. Oops, yeah, dang it. Sorry. Spoiler alert. All right, here we go. So here's what we're really here to listen to today. Like, why are we here? We're here to learn about empathetic leadership. We're here to learn about collaborative creativity. We're here to learn about resilience and vulnerability, right? This is kind of the reason why we came here today, right? Those are all fancy terms. Those are all beautiful things, but this is why you're really here. The real reason you're here is for this. This is my daughter, Juliana. This is her at 2 years old. And this is funny that this event is happening today because in 10 days, she's going to be 14 years old. And so I'm in my daddy mushy meltdown moment right now. But I love this picture of her because this is her in flow. This is her in her spirit. This is her playing with bubbles, right? And who here doesn't love playing with bubbles or didn't love it when they were a kid, all right? Just you want to pop them, you want to grab them, you want to do all the fun stuff with them. Well, today, I shared with you that we're going to talk about leadership. We're going to talk about empathy. We're going to talk about vulnerability. But at the end of the day, we're here to do one big thing. We're here to build a bigger bubble. What am I talking about? What does that even mean? We're going to look at leadership and listening from a space of being connected, from being collaborative, from being creative. Now, I mentioned before that the stuff you saw on the screen, right? The fancy suit, the crowds, the accolades, the titles, all those things are valuable, but at the end of the day, it wasn't always like that. I'm gonna tell you where I came from, right? So, anybody know what this is right here? And you can unmute yourself. You know, this is a dialogue, not a monologue. So, who knows what this is?
Oh, yo-yo.
Yo-yo.
A yo-yo. Thank you. Yes, a yo-yo.
Yo-yo.
Now with yo-yos, their game is simple, right? It goes down, and what else does it do? Goes down, goes up, goes down, goes up. Well, I'll tell you this, for a good chunk of my experience through life, it was down. The yo-yo was down here, it was broken. I was wondering at times, like, maybe I should cut this string and we should be done with this. And let me tell you why it is. So here, this is little Alex, right? Look at that little stud. His first grade, suit, dressed to impress. His parents and his wisdom and their wisdom said, you're going to go to school, you're going to look nice, be a good boy. It was around this age that something important happened. Nothing traumatic, nothing crazy, nothing wild, but a seed of something happened, a seed of an idea, a seed of a belief happened at this young age. And I'm not here to deal with like inner child trauma and all this stuff, but this is where I came from. And I grew up in New York, right? I live in North Carolina now, and I'm the youngest of 4 children. And I like to say that my parents saved the best for last, which is true. Um, unobjective, no bias. But this is important, right? Youngest of 4. I'm gonna show you something that was important for me. So at that age, right? So that picture of me as a little boy. This is a picture of my family, right? My father, my mother, rest in peace. My older sister, my 2 older brothers. Now, I'm the youngest of 4. How many kids do you see here? You can just hold up the number. 3. That's interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4, but yet 1, 2, 3. Huh. I looked at this picture at that age. I looked at the back of it, couldn't find myself. I looked in the frame, I looked on the floor. I tried to see past my brother's big head to see if maybe I was in my mom's belly. I didn't know what pregnant meant, but I knew that women had bellies from time to time, so maybe babies came from there, and I wasn't there. And I made up a story right then and there on the spot. I condemned myself on the spot that I'm not here. I don't exist. I'm not important. You might be thinking to yourself, Alex, why don't you just ask your parents to take another family photo, right? Because the fact of the matter was, I just wasn't born yet. That's why I wasn't in the photo. It wasn't like they went to the photography studio and left me in the car or left me outside. Like, no, you don't belong here. I just wasn't physically here yet. But in my young mind, I saw that as, I'm not important enough to be in a photo. I can't ask for the things I want. I don't deserve to have good things happen to me or happen for me. And I silenced myself. I muffled that sound. I disconnected right then and there on the spot. And it's hard for me to kind of explain this in a few minutes times, but that's what I felt internally. That shift, that moment, it was like bang, bang. I'm not here and it's over. Right. There's no coming back from it. There's no redemption for me. So you look back at this picture here. Whoops. Yeah. His mind is thinking he doesn't exist. He's not important. What he started to do was create a story of, well, how do I fit in? But instead he found evidence of how he didn't fit in. I started collecting the pieces that show that I'm not part of this puzzle. My family, they're from Haiti, speak French and Creole. Guess who's the only person in the family who doesn't? All right, there's one exhibit of why I don't belong. My parents had us go to predominantly white schools, Catholic schools, private schools, right, for a better education, but they may have missed the mark on what that feels like socially, right? And I was just always kind of out of step with my peers because I'm one of the few faces of color in the room. So it's hard to really get connected with people when there's this physical separation and then the emotional piece of that. Okay. 2 pieces of evidence confirming my non-importance in my neighborhood, right? I grew up with Blacks and Hispanics, a very diverse neighborhood, but I go to Catholic school. I'm the preppy kid. I got the blazer. I have a polo. I don't have jeans. I don't have Timberland boots. I don't have Jordans on. So I'm kind of the nerdy kid. I'm not like black enough for y'all. So here I am on the outside looking in. You see the pattern here? I'm collecting all of this. And what I looked at was, how do I find my way in the world? Well, one way I found is through humor. People love when I tell jokes. People love when I was wild. People love when I was crazy. And I use that as my barrier, because if you like me for this, if you get a little too close, then you're gonna get a little too close to the sun. You're gonna figure out that, oh, I'm not as confident as I come off to be. That I'm a bit more insecure than I let on. That actually I'm really lonely. As leaders, you ever feel that loneliness? Nobody gets you, nobody understands you. There's a lot of pressure on you, but who can you talk to? Who can you turn to? Keep it all inside, internalize. Well, this is me. And as I grew up, I found sports as a way, as an outlet, but I traded sports for drugs because drugs were easy, drugs were fast, drugs were cheap, and they can mask everything inside. They could put the screen up. I didn't have to do the humor anymore. I could still have that in my arsenal, but I could have cigarettes, I could have weed, I could have alcohol, I could have all these other substances that could block that. Not very connected, right? So think about for yourself right now. Where have you been keeping people at bay? As a leader, where have you been disconnected from others? Where have you found spaces that you haven't shown up as your authentic self? Now, fortunately for me, I cleaned up my act, fell in love with this of a girl. She she poured belief into me. We built a beautiful life, a family, all these different things. And through that process, I found this thing called coaching. And this is around 2016 where this light bulb started to turn on that, hey, maybe I can help people. Maybe I can do something that's honorable, that's valuable. And then November 2021, I started to, I saw this opportunity for collaboration. And this is where things really exploded for me in my business and my career here. So here we are, November 2021. And I just enrolled in this group coaching program with 3 other coaches. So it's going to be the 4 of us. It's going to be for a 6-month engagement. The challenge is that we, and especially me, didn't have any money to pay for this. So I'm starting to freak out. I'm starting to panic and start to put offers out there, create, but nobody's biting. Nothing's really happening. And I'm getting nervous. All right, what do I do? What's going on? And we come up with this idea. We're going to create a 1-day event in Phoenix, Arizona in January. And we're going to use the money from that event to pay for this coaching. Seems reasonable, right? Seems pretty brilliant. So hence you see what we call the Fantastic Four as our nickname, right? Judy, Julie, Xavier, and myself. 4 of us combined forces using our gifts, using our talents to start selling tickets. So here we are in November still, and we're going for it, right? We're pumped up, about to hit the send button, blast it on social media. We're doing this. People, we're immersed in these possibilities. But there's a challenge because a person that we are looking to hire or enroll as our keynote speakers is this guy named Steve Hardison. He's known as the ultimate coach, and he's known as somebody who lives and breathes his word, and he commits us to put in at least 200 people in this room. If it's 199 or less, he's not going to talk. He won't show up. He's also committing us to have these 200 people read a particular book that came out. This is a book that his wife and former client wrote called The Ultimate Coach. Now, on paper, it's a biography documentary, a biography about his life, but he challenged people to read the book about themselves. We also have a venue change. We have one spot that we want to go to, but it's not going to accommodate the amount of people we need to have. So we have to figure out a way to get a new place. So keep in mind, this is November. This event's happening in January. So we have about 73 days to put this all together. I don't have an event background. I'm not a planner. Neither are the 3 of us. So we're starting to freak out. Oh, yeah, and by the way, we still have to pay this coach this money and generate money from the tickets. But something happened where our coach and this guy, Steve, get wind of what we're doing. They figure out what we're up to, and they change the game for us. So they invite us to this new possibility. Raise the money, sell the tickets, the same amount of money that you're going to pay this coach, rather than pay him, what if you donated to charity instead? What if we supported local nonprofit organizations? Now, for me, that that changed everything inside of me, because before, everything I was communicating, everything I was expressing online was, please help us. Come to this event for us. We need you, right? Very needy, very creepy, very ugh. That shifts to, hey, we need you to help out these individuals. We have these nonprofits we're here to support. We have a bigger mission. We have this what? Bigger bubble. This bigger bubble, this bigger idea, this bigger dream. For you as a leader, what is that big dream that you have? What is that big vision that you have? What is something so large that other people can see themselves inside of it? Because if you're coming from a place where I came from before that, small, shrinking, scarcity minded, oh my goodness, can we pull this off? What are they going to think of if we don't do this? Versus how many people can we get? How many people can we talk to? How many people can help us, support us, and spread the word? It's just a possibility that things can get done very quickly, very impressively. And just to show you how it's all tied up, right? This is us. This is the real deal. This has happened on the stage, right? We pull off this event. We have nearly 300 people that show up, right? We shatter this 200 quota that we were tasked with, right? We raised thousands of dollars for these charities, and more importantly than that, this inspires other people in all sorts in different parts of the world to do the same thing. This is in 2022 in January. A few months later, some folks in the UK pull off their own event and do the same thing that we did, right? We set this precedent for them to raise money and donate to charity. The following year in 2023, this event goes to India. Same thing. Thousands donated to charities. We just did this again back in January of this year. We raised over $100,000 for Operation Underground Railroad. If you don't know what that is, if you watched the movie Sound of Freedom, it's the true story about this organization combating sexual slavery, human trafficking, right? We've been back to the UK again this year. My thoughts, this event, this type of experience is going to be in every country the next 10, 15 years. And it's not about what we did. It's not about the impressive, like, oh my goodness, we got all these people. It's about who we had to become to make that happen, to make something that potentially seemed impossible, 70 days, 300 people, live stream to thousands around the world, especially when this guy is not the type of person who's about being celebrity. He was against being recorded. He was against being a speaker. But we found a way to creatively collaborate with him and enroll him into this possibility of, think of the big picture, think of the big vision, the big bubble here. All right. So for you, what is that dream? What is that vision? What is the thing that you're up to? What is compelling people to move in your space? What is the thing that's going to make people be evangelists for you? What are you going to spread to your team? Who are the people that are working with you, under you? And can they see themselves inside of it? Can they find a place for themselves in here? And if they aren't, then let's start stretching. Let's start growing. Let's start building. Let's start expanding. Because that's the game. That's the fun, at least in my opinion. So build a bigger bubble. What happens when we connect, when we collaborate, when we create with each other? We're all connected anyway. We all need each other. We're on this floating rock together. We have to figure out a way to make it work. So where's your listening coming from? Are you listening from a place of extracting the gold from whatever people are saying? Or are you the type of leader that knows that already, that has that's got that, you know what, I don't need to hear all that. I got it. Or are you the person to say, you know, I never thought of that before? What innovations can happen because you listen to other people, because you open to their ideas, to their perspectives, their way of where they're coming from, right? And then the creativity, in my opinion, if we can make it fun, we can get things done. When we were creating this event, believe me, not every day was fun. There are plenty of moments where I was freaking out, late nights, looking at registration numbers, counting, 29, 30, another day's pass, 31. Yeah, we're kind of moving. Things didn't really start exploding until we shifted the intention of it. And then all of a sudden, oh, 10 people in a day, 5 people in a day, 6 people. That happens because people see a big vision and they want to be a part of it. They want to attach themselves to something that is useful for others. And I believe that all of you are here to do that, to make an impact, to make a difference. So here we are, right? What we want in our lives is a conscious creation. That little boy in that picture, he couldn't see himself in the picture. Now he's everywhere. He's here, he's there. He's with people who are out there to make a global impact. And that's what I love for you. That's my intention, and hopefully inspiring you to do the same for yourselves. I know that you all are, but what's the next thing? What's the thing that's like the big scary dream? What's the thing that's so scary that you can't even talk about? And then where are you coming from as you listen? Listen to yourself. Are you connected to yourself? Is it the talk of, I'm not good enough, I'm not here, I don't exist, I'm not important, or, yeah, I'm born to do this. I can do anything, but guess what? I don't have to do everything. What happens there? So these are the questions to think about, to ruminate on, to consider. And I have a gift for you. So if you scan that code, you put in that code WIN, it's going to give you an opportunity to get an audio experience and expansion of what I just shared here, some principles about the mistakes that leaders make when they're communicating, and the challenges that they have. Because where I come from, everybody wins, and that includes me too. And I want that for you. You get to win as well. You get to be included. This is a place where everybody has ownership of this. And winning's fun. In fact, winning's even more fun than fun is, right? When we were on that stage, that was the touchdown moment. That was the Super Bowl. Where's that Super Bowl in your life? Where's that excitement in your life? Where's the thing that is, like, again, the bubble so large that when you get to celebrate with everybody, we all get to win too. So I thank you all for being here with me. Would love to connect. So you can find me on my website, find me on LinkedIn, email me directly if you have any questions. And I turn it back over to you, Carol. Thanks so much.
Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you, Alex. Thank you. Wonderful. We will have some questions at the end. And it gives me great pleasure to introduce you to our final speaker for the evening, but the evening's not done yet. Stay with us after Omar has shared his story, because we will open up the floor for interactive questions. So, our final guest, as I mentioned on this podcast, is Omar M, as he is affectionately known. Omar is a technical support trainer and Blue Shield in California, a job he enjoys. He has a civil engineering degree from Arizona State University and tutors students to help them with their education. In his off time, Omar hosts Zoompardy, a Jeopardy game show, on his YouTube channel, and enjoys collaborating with people worldwide, especially on LinkedIn, that's how we met, and other social media platforms. His other YouTube channel is Do We Really Know? Well, do we? Tell us. Tell us, Omar.
Thank you, Carol, and thank you to all the wonderful speakers. I hope I can talk as great as you guys did, and hopefully I'll give it a try. Yes, my name is Omar. We met through LinkedIn, through this wonderful platform and collaboration. My journey started with LinkedIn a couple of years ago. I've been on it for 10 years or more, but it hasn't gotten big to me until the last year, right? So you probably don't want to hear about my technical support job. That's going to be too boring, right? Let's go ahead and talk about my Zoompardy and also my Do We Really Know, right? And also my journey from the background. I'm originally from the Balkans, from East Europe. My parents came in, we had a very wonderful life growing up. We came to the States in the 90s, right before the war, everything was good. My dad is an engineer. We grew up in Arkansas State, we had some family there. It was all a wonderful life, not really any struggles growing up. I've been in Arizona since 96, 97. Just the basic struggles of life that everybody has, right? My real struggles, I say, is after I graduated from Arizona State with my engineering degree, right? That is when I wanted to find myself and wanted to know where I'm belonging in terms of the career wise. At the time, 15 years ago when I graduated, there wasn't much job opportunities. I would work for small private firms or government firms, and they were not really something that I wanted to go into. So I went into education at the time. I love teaching and I love talking to people. So I was teaching after I graduated, maybe 3-4 years after. I found a job that was brilliant, something that I loved. I love teaching. And then COVID happened, right? COVID was a life changer for everybody. At that time, I think the school I was with kind of got shut down, right? No people were getting enrolled in it. It was a very minor school called Elevate K-12. And then I had applied for many jobs at the time. One of them was a tech job that I've been with ever since then for the past 4 or 5 years. I totally loved it. So we will move down the side because that's not going to be too interesting. And then at that time, I got an inspiration. I've always loved hosting and doing game shows. So I had seen a couple of YouTube videos of people doing Jeopardy or games, and I decided, why don't I pull up PowerPoint and create and program my own Jeopardy style game? In the beginning, in 2020, everybody was at home. I invited some friends from all over the world, from Mexico, from Sudan, from Dubai. And they said, let me put this together and see if they like it. My friends, I was joking. They said, what is this Omar going to be up to? What is he up to? Does he really know what he's doing? And then they loved it. That first season, which you can see on my channel, it wasn't as good as it is now, but it's wonderful. It's engaging. We bring people together from all over the world to participate in a game of their knowledge, right? It shows them if they know stuff from all over. We have different genres, we have different types of categories. And I started to say, okay, this is great. I did 5 shows in the beginning. And then I said, let me do it again next year for 2021. I got more people interested. And at that time, I think I taped 8 shows. And then I started doing kids as well, inviting people that I know who have kids. And it grew. I have countries from Turkey, from Serbia, from Kosovo who participated, and other places from around the world. And all the kids get a gift card for participating and knowing the knowledge, because I like education and I love kids, right? And part of that gives them the encouragement. Wow, today I learned on Omar's show this or this. And one of the kids who was from India, I told him, what did you buy with your gift card? Candy. And I said, oh, wow, okay. So he was happy that he got candy, whatever it was. I'm like, okay, I guess that's what makes you happy. And so, yeah, I mean, that's impressive to be able to show them an educational way to bring people together with my Zoompardy. As you can see, I have that in my background. And from there, I've expanded to couples. So I've had live couples. We've done the live show with 2 couples, team to team, from Chicago, from Canada. I do 1 set every year, and I'll do another one next year as well. So there's that. That's pretty fun. It's amazing having couples compete. And even I'm thinking about doing a charity. So I'm really new with this. And I am doing a charity event later on, which I'll be taping. We're going to give away a couple of $1,000 with one sponsor to different charities around the world, to the wars, whatever's going on, either Gaza or Pakistan or different schools around the world, to help the community. So that's the goal of it, really, to help people get educated, but also give some money to worthy causes, right? That's part of it. And that's why I started Zoompardy, and it's growing. I have almost 3,000 subscribers on this channel, and people enjoy it and love it. It's just amazing. And then when I did that and connected on LinkedIn, I met all these wonderful people like Carol, who will be on my show too as well. I mean, we talked about it for months. Like when she first reached out to me months ago, she was out there coming in. She's shining star. She came. Would you be wonderful to do my program? I said, of course, Carol. Why not? You're such a wonderful person. We met through Matt Allen, who's a dear friend of mine who was on this program as well. And I never say no. I love people, and so here I am. And the other show that I'm doing is called Do We Really Know? That grew by itself 47, 48 subscribers. It's just a new one. I just started it maybe a year ago, September, something like that. And these are people who are influencers on LinkedIn. There's Donald Cohen, any of these people. I bring them on and we ask them questions. Do we really know these people? And it's a fun show, right? I'm all about fun and knowing people. Like, what is your favorite ice cream flavor? Or what do you do in the mornings? Do you prefer dogs or cats? And it's a fun way to engage and make friends online and all over. So that's part of it. I've done, I believe, 23 episodes so far. The last episode was Stanley Green, the final season of season 2, the final episode. I guess it's called the finale, right? Or this, not the season finale, but the series season finale. Yeah, that's it. So he got a prize because people voted, and he was the best speaker of all of them. He was an actor. He did many movies back in the 80s. So Stanley Green, if you don't know him, he's a wonderful guy. He does a program, Resilience, and it's Wednesday night. So he has a lot of influence. I think 35,000 followers. So he was on that last program. It had one of the highest views. But it's not about views, right? It's about how are you going to inspire the person you're saying your message to, right? And part of it of what I do this is that I always think about my great-great-grandkids and say, oh, that's our relative Omar. Imagine you seeing your great-grandparents from the past saying, that's the relative that belongs to me, and he's doing this wonderful thing. So that's the part of it, the legacy that I think one of you said that. I forgot who it was, either Tanya or Amira. The legacy that we belong and we were remembered by what we did. So if a kid or an adult remembers what are the 3 colors on the traffic lights, that's something amazing, right? That's an easy one. I mean, so that's part of it. Being educated in a fun way. And I'm also, on top of that, working with a friend to create an app for a game for the App Store to educate kids and maybe work with the schools and stuff. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell. And Carol, again, thank you so much for allowing me to be on this program. You guys are all brilliant minds, and I hope we can work together and enjoy your day and have a wonderful Zoompardy day. Maybe I'll see you guys on my next season this fall.
Excellent. Thank you, Omar. Wonderful. So we will connect after to arrange. Yes.
Sounds good.
Please put your details in the chat, Omar, and your links for both. They were posted on the promo that went out featuring yourself. But if you'd like to put them in the chat here, that would be wonderful. So we can catch up on what Zoompardy is really about. And do you really know? Excellent. Thank you. And I would want to say, before I open up for Q&A, I want to say what and how blessed we have been to hear from our 4 guest speakers this evening, this afternoon, wherever you're joining us from. And I want to say thank you to Tanya Amira, Alex, and Omar, for giving up your time, for sharing vulnerably with us, because stories are powerful. They can make or break a person, depending on how we respond to them. So thank you for showing us your resilience and going beyond. Okay, so the floor is open. Don't be shy, ask your questions in no particular order. Okay, Tanya.
So, hi, sorry. I actually wanted to answer a question, if that's okay.
Please
That was
do.
in the
Please
chat. Okay. So in the chat, it says, what are the best habits for increasing confidence and self-assuredness for sales and entrepreneurship? And that is a great question. The first thing I want to say is you have to have confidence in what you're selling, right? You have to know that it's going to be beneficial to the people that you're selling to, that it's going to give them value. That in and of itself is going to give you a little bit more confidence and self-assuredness, because you're not coming at it from, I want to sell you something. It's, I want to sell you something that's actually going to help you and make a difference in your life. Right. And that could be anything. It could be a small difference. It could be a big difference. But as long as you believe that your product or service is going to help, that's the first step. The second step I recommend is visualization, right? Before you get on a call, before you get on a Zoom, before you go to a meeting, visualize yourself talking to them about your product, figuring out how your product's going to help them or your service, and then saying, yes, I want this. This is the solution to my problem, right? That visualization alone is going to get you to that self-confidence level of, okay, they're going to do it. They're going to say, yeah, the only thing I have to do is just basically show them how it's going to benefit them, right? How it's going to solve their problem. And that will help you increase your confidence, your self-assuredness, you know, routinely talking about not the product or service, but the solution that it offers in your head, right? Finding out, figuring out what are the common objections that you're having and coming up with responses so that you're not thinking on your feet for everything, so that you have these responses, you know how to skirt those objections or respond to those objections before they come up, is going to really help you do that and be a lot more self-confident, self-assured, sell better, because you're really not selling, you're giving them a solution. And the visualization, after a few times, it just becomes easier and easier. Thank you.
One answer. Well done. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for posing the question, John. Wonderful.
I had a question for
Yes.
Tanya. Tanya, it was about self-care. Tanya, out of the tips that you offer, which would you say would be your favorite? I was just curious from the tips that you shared with us today.
So my favorites for me, and I want to stress, everybody is different, so you have to find what works for you. The favorites for me are going outside, reading, and meditating. Those three I have to do every day. And if I don't, I feel off. I feel like I haven't taken care of myself at all. You know, I have friends who love to go get manicures and pedicures, male and female, and that's their self-care routine that they do once a month or once every couple of months. But for a daily thing, I think my favorites are the meditation outside and reading. And sometimes I'll meditate outside to kill two birds with one stone.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Because as I was listening to you, I thought about if I'm feeling stressed, Tanya, you know what lowers my stress? I'm saying immediately. And it's been happening for me ever since college, and that is exercise.
Yes.
If I lift weights, stand on my head, roll across the floor. I'm serious, and this is so goofy looking. If you saw it, you was, I don't believe she did that, but that helps me. Circulation starts flowing. I don't know what's going on with my poor brain, but I mean, I'm just loose and I'm enjoying myself with exercise.
Yeah, that's why I have the dance parties with my kids. Because it de-stresses all of us. We don't realize small children have a lot of stress with school and their friends, and right, because it's all relative. To us, it's not a big deal, but to them, it's their whole world. And so doing the dance parties, those I love because it de-stresses all of us, and it's the movement, sweat, your blood flowing. So yes, thank you for sharing as well.
Excellent. Amira.
Yes, I just want to comment and then I go back to Tanya. While I was hearing Alex and Omar about your wonderful programs, one thing I have realized, when we do something that we help others, everything changes. Something I didn't talk about, a project that I have been doing in Uganda, and I have been working with women in Uganda. I delivered different sewing machines to sew sanitary pads. And I've been working with the women in Uganda because they not only inspire me, they remind me of my own struggles and the poverty, the low self-image, low self-esteem, searching for a meaning, trying to build a job, family, the abuse. So we have different projects there, and I will be going there next March. And I realized that many times we work to fulfill certain needs. But I think one of the most important needs after we have fulfilled our needs is how do we serve? And it helps so much our business. It helps so much it helps us waking up in the morning. So my question to Tanya is, what makes you wake up in the morning? What is the most important
She's
reason?
gone.
Yeah. I don't know, probably she has dropped. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So what I think is, I don't do things only for myself. It's beyond. It's and that's why when I feel tired, probably I rest a little bit, but there is something greater that pulls me out of bed. Yeah.
Yes, John.
You're muted.
No, he's not muted, but we can't hear you.
First of all, I'm blessed to have a chance to talk to Amira every week.
Yeah.
She's amazing. She's an unbelievable force of nature, right? And I want to say that what gets us out of bed in the morning, if we are correctly centered, is something deep within us that sings to our values, and the values that we carry with us, that the things that we really care about, that we probably had with us our whole life. And when we are present to those things, and we understand that days are limited, but we see every day as an extraordinary possibility to create good, I practically jump out of bed every morning because it's an extraordinary gift. That's my take on it, Amira.
I have to say that John has been on the board of advisor of extraordinary speakers, and he has been holding my hand tightly in building something extraordinary. And him believing in me helped me so much, and seeing the vision. Yeah, and I appreciate you coming here.
Yes, good to be here. Carol, may I do something?
Of course you may, John.
Okay, so I am primarily a poet. I've been writing since I was 12 years old.
Ooh.
And I published my first ever book of poetry in 2022 with 50 poems, and it became a #1 Amazon bestseller. And so thank you. If you click on that link, it'll go there, and there are many poems in there about the challenges we face in life. And most of the challenges we face is what we see when we get up and look in the mirror each morning. And so if that's catches your curiosity, I invite you to check that out.
Excellent. I've clicked on the link and I've come back. I will explore it later. Fantastic. So do save the chat. I'll say that now because I may forget later on. Save the chat. You've got some valuable links in there. And Tanya, welcome back. Oh.
Thank you. I'm sorry, we have storms and my internet just popped out, but nice to be back. I actually had a couple of questions. I'm not sure if you can hear me or not.
Yeah. We can.
Now, yes.
Okay, so to Omar with the educating kids, I love that concept. And you said you were working with a friend to come up with an app. Is that, can you kind of explain a little bit more about that and what age groups you're targeting?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have a friend of mine who's a programmer. I'm going to pull up the questions and develop them myself. The age group mostly will be high school, from, I would say, 2nd grade to high school level. But right now it's in the beginning phases of it. The first idea of it is to basically put the game in the App Store. Once people look at it and they like it, then I'm thinking about going to the schools after that. But that's a long-term project, basically. That kind of answer your question?
Excellent. Alex, you mentioned you've got an event in London next year. Not London, but UK. Where in the UK?
Oh, that Ultimate Experience event just happened in the UK in May. It was in Birmingham.
No way. That is so close
Yes.
to where I am. Oh, why didn't I know you before?
Cheapest creepers. I don't even know if that's a British
Oh
term or
my
not, but
goodness.
yeah.
I cannot believe that.
Well, I'm sure somebody will take the reins on it and lead it. I mean, the event will happen again in Arizona in January 2025, so I'll be the 3rd year anniversary of that, and then somebody out there will be inspired to host it and bring it on. So as you know, we're connected now. You'll see it on my socials for sure.
Okay.
And if you're here, we'd love to see you. And then I was saying, Carol, I might be coming to the UK to see Matt Allen in a couple of months. So if that works out, I'll do a little bit of a trip around.
Ah,
But I'll be there a couple of days there, maybe go to Bosnia a little bit. So yeah, we'll see. We'll
let's see if it works out. Absolutely.
Yeah, good. So yeah, he's gonna gather all the friends that we know from LinkedIn, Matt Allen, and so it'll be like a surprise. I always tell him, make sure you do a surprise. Like when you come to the airport, bring me some balloons or different colors. So me and him we have this humorous comedy. Another thing on my channel is I'm doing a lot of comedy gigs too, though a few things here that are funny. And me and him are working on that together. So
Excellent. Amira. Oh, sorry, Marlene.
Oh, I wanted to just I thought about when Alex was speaking to us, and that he and Carol, you know this to be true, because we're working on something right now that sounds so incredibly similar to what he was talking about, and that is the collaboration. When you see and in each morning, Amira asks, what do you think about when you wake up each day? And it's what we've been talking about, Carol, and it's that big that bubble that we have, and we're not rolling a rock, whatever you want to call it. We're not doing it alone. It's collaborative, because there are numerous people, and Carol knows what I mean, that are pushing this, and it's going to do a world of good. It's going to benefit a lot of people. Alex, and I thought about what you described, and that's exactly what I'm doing right now in writing stories, and I'm inviting other people to come along with me, and the book will then give royalties, to nonprofits. But the discomfort, guys, came about because of I have two granddaughters. I still say two granddaughters, because I have one that's 3 years old, and one was born in November, and she died in January, guys. So that's something that presses me, and then my other granddaughter as well, because she had been ill for a while. So my discomfort, it's 500 moments of discomfort, and it's 500 stories that I'm looking to get have people to share with me this year. And so that's 500 stories, guys. And the people who are reaching out to me, and I still need more, but my goal right now, and I'm praying to God that he'll let me accomplish the 500 stories. That's my mission. And then we can share with the authors like Carol and her team, and they'll be able to be a blessing. So that's my goal each morning, Amira, when I wake up, is that I want to be a blessing to somebody somewhere. That's always my mission every day, is that, God bless me, because I can't do it by myself. It has to be you. So I wake up each day, and that's my goal.
Wow, thank you for sharing that, and condolences for your family. But I love that you're shifting this and using your experiences already and being able to tell people stories. And then I have this expression is a part of me. What I share with people all the time is like, your story matters and your voice matters. When I shared that part about me about being a little boy, I didn't think anything I said or contributed mattered, and it took a lot to get to this point and to where I'm going. So I just salute you for taking that mission on, right? Because sometimes we get these, I call them divine downloads, right? Things that people would say are crazy, you're wild, why are you doing that? This is stupid, like this is too hard, it's too difficult. But that engine, that thing inside of us is like, I gotta express this. I have to express this out to the world and give people an opportunity to be inspired, right? And it's not about the profits. I mean, that will come, whatever, that's fun, that's great, the money. But what's the impact? What's the multi-generational impact? What your granddaughter will be like, oh my goodness, wow, grandma did that, Mimi did that, whatever she want to call you. Like, wow, she did that. Now that plants the seed for her to look at, maybe I can, right? What if? This is a simple question, but it's one of the most powerful questions that I've been able to ask myself. And I ask clients like, hey, what if you could do this? What if you were the person who could take this big mission on? Not everything by yourself, but you be the spirit, you be the driver of it. So I just salute you for that, Marlene.
I'm so blessed today to have Carol. Carol is here with me, and we are she's one of the people who's doing it. She's alongside of me, and I'm so grateful. I'm very grateful, and I was so grateful today to hear your story. Very grateful. I said, Lord, you just confirm what I'm doing, because when I heard you, I said, my heart just dropped, because it's very, you inspired me. I said, that's a lot. That's very similar to what I'm doing, and there you are. You've already done it.
Awesome. And I'm going to hand over at this point to founder of Kaushulya UK, Ritu Sharma, and Marlene. Ritu has been there gathering the storytellers too. So Ritu, please share a bit about, Alex was saying, well, what's the next big thing and what's what? And I know you have some amazing, amazing dreams.
Thank you, Carol. Before I go, Amira, I think you wanted to say something. Are you okay?
Yes, I'm fine.
Yeah, lovely.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes.
Thank you. So, yeah, I mean, it's been amazing today, and what beautiful shares. Carol, what I notice is that what we're attracting here is like-minded people, people who want to put the good out in the world, people who are doing the right thing, people who mean well, and they mean well for the whole humanity rather than just their tribe or their part of the country or whatever. They mean well for the whole wider communities, wider world. And Marlene, thank you so much for asking us to be on board with your big project of 500 stories of discomfort. We have sent you some, we have some more coming, so there you are. And guys, please connect with Marlene. Marlene, if you want to drop your LinkedIn address in the chat, that would help people to connect with you. Marlene is giving people a wonderful opportunity to become published authors. And she does not want anything in back. As she said, bless her, she's doing it from the goodness of her heart to share these brilliant stories of resilience, strength, discomfort, and coming out, finding light on at the other end, and putting good out in the world. So thank you, Marlene, for that. We need this kind of intention. Amira, I'm coming to Italy to see you. Or when you come to the UK, make sure you make connection, because we do
Yes.
need to meet. Absolutely, we need
Yes.
to meet.
Don't leave me out.
No, never. Oh, Carol, you'd be planning the meeting. You'd be doing it all. So it's amazing. It's so wonderful to hear all these stories and to see that there is this beautiful energy in the world that is driving us forward. Alex, I want to say all the beautiful, wonderful people of the world, they are a tiny bit crazy. And these divine downloads, they're a blessing, and they do come to us in the most crazy moments. And sometimes you don't have the resources, you don't have the capacity, you don't have the time, so called, but there's a divine plan to it. And when you do get called to do a job, nothing matters and nothing gets in the way, because it's not you driving it, it's the God. It's the bigger, much bigger force than us, making us do it. Actually, Carol and I were having this conversation this morning, and I shared quite a bit. I think we were on the phone for an hour and a half. And yeah, we were setting the world right, basically. Coachella UK is a not-for-profit, as Carol mentioned. And what we do is we want to be there to support people, predominantly women, of course. So we are an organization that supports women. And we have, from last year, since last year, we have been developing our services for women affected by domestic abuse. We already are running projects where we provide them with free legal advice, benefits advice, housing advice. We've got no funds so far for any of these projects, but we're determined to carry on. So much so that one of our lovely volunteer, Pushpa, has created a group to do crafts, create crafts to sell, so that we can raise money for these projects. So we definitely cannot do all of this work alone. We do depend on like-minded, wonderful people. We've got Christina Luke on the call today with us, who is also a very, she's a forceful ambassador. She's got a wonderful story of her own. She's got a career of her own, but she's also joined hands with Coachella UK, which we're very grateful for. And she represents Coachella UK as well, doing some amazing work with us. So currently we are also, there are lots of things. Carol, do you want me to go through the whole thing?
Yes.
Thank you for that. So, yes, so this year we started a regular project, which we will be, and a conference which we will be doing every year in January, and that's Domestic Abuse and Mental Health Conference. We bring the most prestigious mental health experts from around the UK to come and speak to us and help us understand how domestic abuse can be have a massive impact on mental health. And anyone who has been touched by this domestic abuse, unfortunately, would know that that flushes your mental health down the drain. And on the way, we've seen so many women struggle. We've seen men struggle through domestic abuse, and we cannot press upon this enough that Kushala UK welcomes men. And this platform is just one example of that we welcome men to the dialogue. We want them to be a part of the movement as well. Women empowerment can never get to its final stage unless men are a part of it as well. So we invite the best people from all over the UK to come talk to us. Last year we had, the start of this year we had the deputy mayor come to the event, and we had some councillors, we had some influential people running the third sector in the West Midlands who during the conference has also contributed to it. Christina was one of our speakers actually on the day. So, and we do obviously celebrate International Women's Day. Next year, we're starting retreats for women, again, to do with mental health, finding peace, and anybody who wants to contribute to that is very welcome to do that. We do already run day retreats where we take our ladies away for a day in a place of nature, where they can just relax and be themselves. We do some workshops around meditation. We did sound bath meditation. We did a crystal making workshop last time we did one. We recently took them out to a nature reserve, and we absolutely have a fabulous day. We will continue to do some fundraisers. Another lovely volunteer, Rani, she runs ladies' dinner and dances, and she's offered to do one every year in May for us. Bless her. We had a very successful one this year. So she plans to do one every year for us to be able to raise funds for domestic abuse projects. Next year also, we are going to start a community theatre project where we'll be putting out a play at a theatre, at a professional theatre setup. And we will be raising funds again to support our domestic abuse projects. Now, all these ideas, Alex, have come to me in crazy moments where I now, obviously, I cannot get to everything, but thankfully, I've got some beautiful, brilliant people who have stepped forward and taken the responsibility on, because everybody who's creating a bigger bubble knows already, one person cannot do everything. And Alex, therefore, I really appreciate what you spoke about collaborations. I think they're so important, that we all come together and we put in our thoughts and energies together. Like-minded people need to stick together, absolutely. We've got a book already that came out in 2021. It's called The New Woman. It's an Amazon bestseller. We've got 33 beautiful stories in there. Marlene, maybe you should look at that as well. And next year we plan to do the second edition for The New Woman, bringing some more stories to the world. So that's another big thing that we're doing. And this year we're also starting Diversity Festival, Diversity Day in October, which Karen and I have been talking about today. It will be, I'm sure it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be fun. It's going to be loads of success. And then on the other hand, we've got lots of projects that are ongoing, like this one that we're all here today for. We've got a Let's Talk Happiness, which is around mental and emotional well-being. We've got Dance Wellness, which is around physical well-being, and the Crafts Club and Bingo's Club, which is to raise funds for Kushala UK's domestic abuse projects. So there's loads that's happening at our end, and we're very proud and we're very grateful at the same time that we are connected to wonderful people, and we keep widening our network. Thanks to Carol, she's really good at bringing people together, picking the best ones from everywhere around the world. So I want to say a big thank you. I mean, Kushala UK will carry on. Please stay connected on socials. We will keep posting about our activities. We love getting the attention for whatever reason. But I want to say a big, massive thank you to all our 4 speakers today, Amira, Alex, Omar, and Tanya. Thank you for your wonderful shares. Thank you for your energy and your time that you decided to spend with us. And you're doing some amazing, amazing work. We're very impressed. And I pray that you find loads and loads of happiness and success in whatever you continue to do. Amira, we need to meet.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say that. Yes.
And I want to say thank you to everybody else who came on today and decided to spend their time, their evening with us here on this platform, because we need you. We need to. We need you, and we need you to be connected. And Marlene, for example, came through LinkedIn and connected with Carol, and then Carol introduced us. And it's the excitement that comes out when opportunities like these arise. And the ladies we've spoken to, they're very excited, Marlene, and I'm looking forward to the finished product. So I just want to say a huge thank you. Keep putting out the good in the world, ladies and gentlemen. Stay connected, stay happy, stay safe. And Carol wants to say something.
Yeah.
Thank you so
What I
much for
want
the
to say,
opportunity.
you've heard from Ritu. Now, there's a lot of what Ritu has shared is driven from the heart. No finances behind it, from the heart. Because why let ka-ching get in the way when there are needs in the community? So what we do because we are people person. Ritu comes up with these ideas and then says, Carol, have you got capacity? And of course, I've always got capacity because her vision aligns with what I believe in. So just to say, I appreciate you, Ritu, for your heart in what you do. You know where you've come from. Ritu hasn't shared her story. One day we have to get you sharing your story on this event. Yes, definitely. And I hope you'll all come back just to hear it. But yeah, I wanted to just say that so you know this isn't polished. We're doing it because we love what we do. And because we want to inspire others by your stories. People need to be built up and have hope again in their lives. That's what we do, why we do. That's what we do, why we do what we do.
We got it. We got it.
Yeah. All right. So
okay. And can I say a big thank you to you as well, Carol, while we're on it, because all of this would not be possible without your contribution. So you've been a fundamental person in this building Kushala UK. So thank you so much as well.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, so I think that's it. Unless there's anything else. Amira said we will be connecting, both Ritu and I.
Yes. Just thank you, everyone. And Amira, I'm looking forward to connecting with you.
Absolutely. Please.
Looking forward. Okay, and I love you all. I enjoyed myself today.
Yes. 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 Beautiful. It felt at home. Yes.
And let me say thank you guys. Thank you, Carol, and everybody here. And nice to meet new people and connect with me. I'd love to have a video chat with all of you guys. I got to drop in a bit here, but lovely bunch of people here. Thank you so much. Take care. Have a
right. Before you close the chat, I need to save the chat. No.
There's a way to download it. If you click the top 3 dots on the top.
Yeah. Not on. Oh, save chat. Thank you. It keeps moving.
No, I'm the tech guy, so if you need any tech help, let me know. That's my job.
Excellent. Thank you. Have a wonderful rest of the day, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
Thank you, Tanya. Bye-bye.